Today, I want to talk to you about two feelings that so many of us moms experience: guilt and worry. Neither are very pleasant. And so by the end of this short little video, I'm going to share with you some things you can do to help yourself when you notice you're just so stressed or anxious because you're worrying all the time, or you can't go to sleep at night because you keep reminding yourself of something that had happened that day, and you're just overcome with guilt and worry, because those are not two fun feelings. I want to help you through it. And today I've got some help from a little furry friend here. This is Mikey. I'm dog sitting, so he'll probably just stay quiet and snuggle me. All right, so one of the reasons I got inspired to do this is I was talking to a client, and she was just overcome with guilt as she thought about the impact that COVID had had on her daughters, and how she just felt so guilty for not being more present and showing up. She was really pulled between being at her job and being home. And of course, like so many of us who are working, usually we can go to our job and our child's at school, but all that changed during COVID. And she just was beating herself up and blaming herself and overcome with guilt for, I could have done more. I wish I had done more. And I shared with her this concept that I learned in coach training that initially I thought, what? That doesn't make sense. But the philosophy or the concept that they taught us was there are no mistakes. And I thought, what are you talking about? We make mistakes all the time. But what the idea was is we really only feel like we made a mistake when we look at what we did in the present moment and we're looking at something we did in the past. And the idea behind it is that we never intentionally do anything to harm our kids or to hurt our kids, right? We love them, we care about them, we give them everything we've got. And so we really only look at something as a mistake or feel guilty about something because in the present moment, all of a sudden, we have new information and new knowledge that we didn't have then. And so we look back on what we did and we regret our actions. But when you notice yourself doing that, I want you to remind yourself of this, right? That guilt comes up when we're thinking about what we've done in the past and wishing we'd done differently. Now, it can be useful if you are looking at what you've done and wish you'd done differently and make a decision to act differently next time with your new knowledge and information. Then guilt can be helpful, and it also helps you release the guilt when you do that, right? But we want to look at what's in the past that we wish had gone differently. Maybe we yelled at our kid, or I gave you the example of my client during COVID. For me, I would look at the past and really regret the school choice I made for one of my children. Wasn't a good fit. But again, I was doing the best I could with the information and knowledge I had at the time. And so to stay up at night and constantly replay in my head and beat myself up and feel guilty or ashamed is not helpful to me or to my child. And so I'm going to offer what you can do in the moment to kind of move through it. But first I want to touch for a minute on worry, because they're almost opposite ends of the spectrum, right? Guilt is when you're thinking about what happened in the past. And worry is when you're focused on the future. And the future is unknown. It's uncertain, right? And that's what causes that feeling of unknown or uncertainty causes anxiety and stress. In any human, it's difficult to manage uncertainty right here and now because we can worry about what's going to happen. So worry shows up for us moms. You'll notice that you're saying to yourself, what if, right? Well, what if they don't study for the test, right? What if they don't make friends? What if they don't go to college? And it's all future-oriented thoughts, right? It's like your mommy brain is on fast forward. And, if you think about it, we can't actually predict or control the future. All we can really do is bring ourselves back to the here and now. As Eckhart Tolle likes to say, all we have is the present moment. I'm paraphrasing, but that's what his philosophy is, and I love that. And it's really just the idea that when you are stuck with thoughts that make you worried or thoughts that make you feel guilty, you suffer. And so how can we let go of those thoughts and really come back into what's going on right now, right in front of me? Because that's where you can make the biggest impact. So if you notice yourself beating yourself up and feeling guilty, I'm the worst mom ever, I can't believe I yelled about the phone, or whatever the latest secret sauce is for the day. Or if you notice yourself really scared, anxious, stressed, worried about something that might happen that hasn't yet, I want you to do these 3 things. Notice, validate, and nurture. So what do I mean by that? The first thing you want to do is notice that you're feeling guilty or you're feeling worried. Like if you're not aware that you have some thought going on that's having you replay a past event over and over, or if you don't recognize that you're having a thought that's about something that hasn't even happened yet and you're feeling anxious and stressed, there's nowhere to go from there. So the first thing you want to know is noticing if you're feeling worried or you're feeling guilty. And just say, okay, I'm feeling guilty for what I said yesterday, for yelling at my kid, right? Or, I'm really worried that they're not going to study for that test and do well. So the first part's notice, and then validate. Validate yourself, your feelings, right? Like, yeah, that makes total sense. I'm feeling really guilty right now because I don't want to yell at my kid. I don't want to be that kind of mom, right? Or of course I'm feeling worried. I really want my child to do well on that test and do well in the class so they have more choices on what college they're going to go to. So give yourself a validation to just normalize that you're a mom going through normal feelings right now. And then do something that feels nurturing, that third step. And one of the things I love doing is because now I've noticed that I'm thinking about the past, I love replacing that thought with a thought that feels just better and more empowering and releases some of that guilt, right? Like, you know what, this is just for today, not forever. Or something like that. Come up with a mantra that works for you, that pulls you back into what's going on right here, right now. And when you can do this for yourself, you'll notice you're less exhausted, right? You're less overwhelmed and you have more energy to be the mom that you want to be right now in the present moment. And you'll notice super quickly that your teenager responds to your own energy, that they'll respond more calmly when you're in a discussion. If you're like just overcome with guilt or steeped with worry, they feel that from us and they feel it in the beginning of a conversation and it pushes them away, right? It repels them. They either argue with us or they roll their eyes or they go to their room, some form of disconnection. So know that when you slow down and you help yourself move through guilt or worry, that you're going to feel better and less exhausted. You're going to feel more grounded and more like the parent you want to be because you have the energy to be that parent. And your teen is going to notice that and really appreciate it. And you'll notice that it immediately creates a connection between the two of you. So I hope that was helpful for you today. If you want to learn more, go visit my website. There's a ton of free resources on there. And I'm always available if you want to chat. All right, you guys have a great day.